not to stereotype. That's actually directly stereotyping. But stereotypes exist for a reason. I think I may have... I'm pretty confident saying I've looked at more bronze to diamond replays than anyone else in the history of... I've criticized and analyzed and broken down more bronze to diamond replays than anyone else in the history of StarCraft 2. Like, I'm thinking, like, is there anyone who's looked at the thousands that I have? One way or another, between Bronze League Heroes and Angry Coach. Like, I actually might be at the top of the list on that. It is a weird flex. That's like, it's like being an elementary school teacher. You know, like, you don't want to sit the troublemaker next to the other troublemaker, because then there'll be more troublemakers. Like, my mom's an elementary school teacher, which is why I feel like I'm a little better equipped to deal with Twitch chat as well. You learn a lot of that. Like, you just get indoctrinated some of those skills. Alright, let's get that low platinum Protoss. Wait. No, that was not the one. I was stereotyping. We were doing Foxy's. Sorry, Foxy. I just wanted to stereotype that one. I skipped ahead. Foxy the Foxer. Gold Zerg. But want to improve. That's the first statement. It's like, I'm gold, but I do want to get better. I'm not hopeless. It's like, okay, good start. I do my best to always follow guide, but felt like I couldn't handle harass all game. Well, that's the thing. You shouldn't always be following the guide to the letter. It's a guide, not like a hand holder. It's supposed to point you in the right direction, not drag you there by force. Okay. Foxy the Foxer. What if I wanted to drag me? Well, I don't know. Go play co-op or something. Gold Zerg. Okay, he blocked your base with a pylon. This is where it all goes wrong. Go take a different base. Good start. And then if he blocks that, guess what? Build a spawning pool. Okay. Unfortunately, this is where the mental breakdown. If he does, build a spawning pool. Honestly, just build a spawning pool. Alright. No. Okay, so here's what happens. If you build a spawning pool, you kind of just win the game. Because this guy's entire plan, not his plan, but his plan that he came up with after the game started was to block your bases. He didn't even build his forge until now. I'll just put that out there. But unfortunately, the mental breakdown you're having is slightly greater than his lack of planning. So that is where we are now. I don't mind this. Like, 4 drones. I thought it was going to be like 4 drones, then I'm going to expand, then I'll build the pool. Fine. Deal. He is very committed, isn't he? Unfortunately, you got supply blocked right as the Zerglings could come out. Which is not going to help. But, okay. See, so ideally you don't just have like 4 drones chilling, doing nothing.
To the end of your list, perchance?
Yeah, you got like 3 or 4 ahead of you, but I need to work through these faster. Nice catch. So, Zerglings are better than drones for attacking things, because Zerglings have claws. Now you might be like, don't drones also have claws? Technically correct. But those claws are for mining minerals. That's... you build Zerglings. And yes, I'm telling you, this is, if there was ever a time to build Zerglings, now would be said time. No, okay. Unfortunately, so I do say in many of my longer guides and all that, just don't worry about him, worry about yourself. And of course, everyone has a plan until they get punched in the mouth. Rarely do people actually get punched in the mouth. More like somebody looks at them and they feel like they got punched in the mouth, but really they just are socially awkward and have no idea how to react to things. This is not that case, actually. This was a very, like, about as much as the Protoss could do to fuck him up. So I will give you that. Like, this is a significant veer away, a divergence from what should be a normal build. But I'll give you credit, like, getting 30 plus drones going. The 4 bases might be a little bit of an overreaction, but, like, this isn't a terrible follow-up at all. Like, if you see he's building cannons, then he's just turtling up. Maybe building a couple too many. Unfortunately, okay, we're going to try to avoid Amnesia Lords. When you only have 40 drones, you want to avoid Amnesia Lords. For those who don't know what Amnesia Lords is, you, for example, you are supply blocked. So you build, say, 7 Overlords. And then, because you were so hard supply blocked, I like the spreading, but, like, you were so hard supply blocked, eventually you try to build other things, and you forget you just built 7 Overlords. 7 Overlords, which, by the way, are 56 supply of Overlords. So, and then you build more Overlords, thus wasting more. And down the rabbit hole we go. Now we're at 40 drones. Which is not enough drones. We're building roaches. Why?
Insufficient.
I'm pretty sure in almost every guide I say 60 drones or 62 drones or something like that. I don't think at any point I say 40 drones is probably good enough. Let's just stop there. We're now building roaches, but at what point will we remember roach speed? It looked okay. Like, for a few moments, it looked like... Now, here's the beauty of it, is there's 1,400 minerals in the bank. But will that be used for drones? This is your moment. This is your moment. This is your moment to get back on track, because if you build a round of Zerglings right now, even if it works, by the way, even if some sort of attack works, you will have gone so far off whatever track you wanted to be on, it is very little hope of recovering in any sort of timely manner. There's a there. You still got 1,700 minerals in the bank, which is impressive because you only mine 1,500 in a minute. So that's over a minute's worth of minerals in the bank, unsupply blocked with 29 larvae. This is your moment. This is, well, the moment's kind of passing either way, and well. So, you could have had 60 drones. You have 40 drones. Now, that's not a problem this moment, because you have 2,000 minerals, but that eventually will be a problem. And that is 2 Immortals and a War Prism, and actually you just kind of killed them. Okay, so here's the problem. This game is 28 minutes long. Here's the unit count right now. He has 7 Zealots and 2 Sentries. These are most of those Zealots. So what you could do is, now I know this sounds crazy, but you built all these units, so you can go fucking kill him. Because your army supply is currently 87 to 18. And now, I know that sounds like it's pretty close, but it's actually a pretty big lead for you. Congratulations. So, go fucking kill him. Now, I know, in the guides I say, like, max out and then go kill him. But I also say get 60 drones, and we didn't really be too religious about that, did we? So, uh-oh. Well, there's units in 2 places. This can only go poorly. Looks like we have just enough units to not be able to handle either side of the attack. So this is where not using the select all army hotkey all of the time comes in handy. Okay. I'm going to re-add 34 drones is not nearly enough drones. Don't run into your own corrosive bile. Because it also hurts you. Just FYI. That's a pro tip. Stop shooting yourself in the face. Stop it. Like, okay, here's your options. 1, shoot yourself in the face. 2, anything else. Choose option 2. Oh my god. So, corrosive bile breaks force field in case. Alright, like, okay, so, did you know that? That's like the main use for Ravagers. I did not. So you know what Ravagers do, and that corrosive bile exists, but you did not know it breaks force field. Okay. So despite your best efforts, well, yeah, now you know. Is there an easy way mid-game to see your total workers? So you look at the supply. That's not a metaphor. You hover over your supply and you can see how much worker and army supply you have. And if you see, at some point you rebuild drones, so I'll give you that. Even though a bunch of them are just still idle. That way you can see, oh, I don't have 60 drones. Uh-oh. He attacked with anything anywhere else. Uh-oh. Jesus. It looks like we're gonna attempt to split units here. It's gonna be crazy. Yeah, like, at some point, like, this guy's just outplaying you. And by outplaying you, I mean he's attacking in any place besides directly into your army. Like, at some point, you have to figure out a way to have it so, like, a third of your army is at home, and the other 2/3, one third of your army is still bigger than his army most of the time. Like, you're just gonna have to figure that out. Alright? There's no magic trick for not feeling like you're getting swung around like an anchor. Like, now you're splitting your units, but it would be a lot easier if you had something called control groups, which are, now get this, it sounds crazy, for controlling your units and buildings. Believe it or not. I was super tilted. Well, it's looked that way. I mean, he did double pylon block you with no plan. I will remind you of the part where you had 87 to 18 army supply. But this is a tilting game. And whatever lead we once had is now, well, he keeps throwing away his units, which is really helpful. Like, that means there's still hope. Like, he has not managed to... Oh, well, stop. Okay. Don't shoot... Just don't... I would stop building Ravagers. Okay? Like, until you can go a whole game without shooting yourself with a corrosive bile, I would go ahead and stop building Ravagers. Because I'm pretty sure the Ravagers have done more damage to your army than to the opponent's army. Forces under attack. Gold with no control groups and camera hotkeys? Is that like a weird thing? I think he has camera hotkeys. Not that they're helping much. Yeah, at this point. Hey, do we have a lurker done? So you might be like, what do I spend my gas on? Lurkers.
Hive cluster under direct assault. Forces under attack. Queen birth successful.
Now we're just gonna watch. Like, at some point, the Immortals are gonna walk across the map now. I'll give him credit for still being in the game and still rebuilding. But unfortunately, the Zealots have now racked up like 50 plus worker kills, which is impressive because I don't think he's ever been over 50 workers, so it's a lot of kills. Like, the Protoss keeps giving away just enough units that the game is close. Oh, looks like he split off some more Zealots. Oh, Jesus Christ. He finally pressed the storm button. But it appears he still lost a lot of units. I don't even, like... I'll give the Protoss decent credit for his Zealot splits. Like, at least he's doing that. It's most of what he's doing, but... Honestly, well, I feel like there were the makings. Obviously, a lot of the pieces are there, but from the pylon block, it was a mess. Like, that knocked a few screws loose, and we didn't have many screws in the first place. And from there, it wasn't going to take much for everything else to kind of unravel. I will give him credit for fighting it out this long, and, like, still not, like, completely YOLOing in, except when it was obviously the only choice. But there's a lot of basic things, like splitting your units and also building workers. This is a GG. That GG right there just bumped you up a bit. So for gold, I think that bumps you up to a B, in my opinion. I think even if you play like that, you will eventually get platinum, but it'll be very painful. It will not be a quick and easy process, but you could make it quicker and easier. Yeah, the pylons, I will give you that. Like, that is one of those things that he doesn't actually have a plan. He had no plan. Like, he was just building the pylons. That was it. It feels like he's, like, throwing you off, and he's got this super advanced... No. He literally just built pylons, and that was it. That was his whole thing. There was nothing else. Sometimes there, and I would argue much more often than not, there is nothing behind it. That's it. If they had anything behind their dumb, cheesy rush, they wouldn't also be gold. So, from Drake, we have, is that the real Drake ore?